say? Who was
the most important character?
Okay, so remember we read a page and we're like, who is the most important character on that page? What was the next thing we did? Then we had to ask ourselves, what
did they do?
Yep, what did that character do? So remember, something they said, maybe it was an important action that they did, right? And then we had to ask ourselves, why
did they do that?
Yep, so what was the reason they said that or did that certain action, right? So, remember, this one should look familiar. On page 4, when I read through this, okay, do you guys want to flip to page 4? Maybe that'll refresh your memory. On page 4, I read this to you guys and we came up with this. Okay, remember we wrote on a post-it, we wrote who, what, why, okay? And so I wrote who was the lion, okay? And what did he do? He waited for animals to bring him food. And why did he wait for animals to bring him food?
Because he didn't want to waste his energy running around and...
Yeah, he didn't want to spend all his time hunting.
And the animals made him a deal to bring him food.
Yeah, so there's lots of reasons why, right? And then, what did I do down here?
You made it all into one sentence.
Yeah, I made it all into one sentence. So this was kind of my planning, and then I wrote it into a sentence. So I said, the lion waited for the animals to bring him food because he didn't want to spend his time hunting, and then his life would be much easier. Okay, so today, what I'm gonna leave this up here, just in case you guys need that, okay? But you have a Post-it in your book. Do you wanna find that Post-it in your book? Okay, Harrison, do you have a Post-it? There, oh, you already have it on your page, okay? So that Post-it, what you have to do first is read the page. Okay, so you read the whole page, and then you have to think, who is the most important character? What did they do?
And
why did they do it? Yep, and you can make it look just like this, right? Just like mine, so if you forget, look up here, okay? And then, so you fill that out, then we can put it in our notebook and then write it into a sentence. So maybe, should we get our notebook set up? You guys are pretty experts at that. Can you guys go to a page in your notebook, remember in the back? Let's go to a whole new page though. Okay, and what do we always put on the top of our notebook?
Date.
The date and the title. So for this one, let's just put the lion and the hare. We don't have to put the rest of that. You guys probably need pencils though, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That would probably help. Oh. Okay, and the date is the 7th. Okay, so the lion and the hare, that way in case we decide to refer back to this, we'll know what book we used. If you forget, it's on the front, remember. Okay, so the lion and the hare, and then the date is 12/7/18. So we have about 15 minutes. You guys have a lot of time. So remember, read through the page, use your Post-it to do the who, what, why, okay? Then you can take your Post-it and you can actually set it up top here and then write it into a sentence, okay? If you get stuck, I'm gonna kind of help each one of you, okay? And then if you finished with your notebook, just start reading, okay? Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead and get started.
The lion followed the hare to the meadow where there was an old well filled with water. Your enemy is down there, said the hare, pointing to the well. If you get closer, you will see him. Lions swam to the well and looked down, saw another lion in the clear water below. Oh, the lion said, there is a lion who thinks he's the king of my forest. Lion roared at the lion in the well.
We can actually stop and just do that page, okay? Okay, so who is that page about?
The lion.
Okay, so let's write that on there.
And then what did he do?
Yeah, what did the lion do?
He went to the well and looked down and
so go ahead and write that. So the what? I like how you went and found that word. That is a tricky word, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now what do we have to ask ourselves?
Why?
Why?
Because he wanted to get his enemy out of there, and because he's the king of the forest,
Yeah.
not the one that's down there.
Yeah. So he wanted to talk to that lion, right? And tell him, like, you're not the boss of the forest. You're not the king. I am. Oh, there's not really a lion down there. Yeah. It's not really a lion. Yeah. So they were tricking him, weren't they? Kaden, who's the most important character on your page? The lion. Okay, write it down. Are you done? Okay, remember, you can put it in your notebook. You can put the Post-it in your notebook, remember? And then let's try to put it in a sentence. Okay? So let's see. What do you got here? Who's the character? Okay, what did they do?
They hid behind a bush
Oh, hid behind a bush. Why did he hide behind the bush?
to get ready to make a plan to trick the lion.
Oh, okay. So can we try to write that in a sentence? Okay, so how do you think we'd start that?
The hare
Oh, so let's write it while you're saying it. The hare.
hid in the bush.
Yeah, the hare hid behind a bush. And maybe we'll say